Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we are AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Mob Psycho Season 2, Episode 12. I'm excited. I think that's fair to say. I think
Very fair.
Last episode was one of my favorite. Like, it was just a great episode. It was, animation was great. The storyboarding was great. The music was great. And that all happened building up to what I assume to be the big fight, right? It's finale fight before we're caught up to season 3.
I mean, we even saw this power scale kind of comparison where we have everyone, all of the former Scars and Teru and Ritsu all fighting the same Esper. And then at the very end of the episode, Mob shows up and instantly the guy is so scared. Shimazaki, like he's like, I'm out of here. Like, yeah. I don't want to fight this guy. And so it's like we saw a really great comparison that almost gave me more confidence and more like hope for the ending or for a final battle between Sho's dad and Mob, you know? It definitely made me feel a little bit better to have that kind of power scale shown to me where it's like, okay, yes, Mob is still on top. Like, I was pretty nervous about this guy, Shimazaki. He was pretty terrifying, but Mob's still on top. He's still really, really strong. Mogami seemed to kind of give him his, like,
he's out there somewhere.
I don't know. So I think I have a lot of confidence that this is going to have a good ending that I will feel happy about and that Mob will be able to win.
I'm excited for how it's going to progress in that way, like story-wise, but also like I've come to like love and get so excited for the animation and the way that they show a fight. Even if it isn't like crazy action, just like the visuals that they tell, it just feels like a passion project. So I'm excited to see how they approach it. Another just shout out to Sho, like giving it his all, you know, and then just getting rolled by his dad is what, honestly, the highlight of last episode to me was Teru and Shimazaki's fight. I know that everybody was helping Teru, but Shimazaki's whole teleporting sequence was so cool. Mm-hmm. I like rewatching it to edit and everything like that. I was like, this is such a cool show, and Teru's outfits are so cool, and I'm just happy to watch it.
I mean, you're so right to bring up, like, obviously, like, Teru was the main reason that I would say any progress was made against Shimazaki, even if it wasn't ultimate winning. But Teru was the one that kind of figured out the teleportation and figured out where to predict that he was going to pop up next.
Yeah.
And I just love Teru's character because he's so aware of where he stands in this world and he's accepted it. And he supports Mob.
And he's teaching those lessons now, too.
Teaching those lessons. He is such a good boy. He's probably the best boy. He's maybe the best anime boy ever.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Reagan also came in.
Okay, maybe... No, Teru.
But the whole, like, way they played the Reagan moment might have been one of the best funny. Ways they've ever played it.
He was like, is he so strong that he's made his presence disappear?
We saw the epic, like, Mob's foot come into that black veil, and then just out of nowhere, Reagan just KOs him because of the lack of spiritual energy. I love it. It was great.
It was really good.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Sweet. Do you think Sho is going to be our friend next season?
Yeah. I still, obviously this show has been 2 seasons now, and I can still safely say that I do not know the severity that they are willing to do in the show in terms of violence and like death or injury.
I don't think it's a secret that I love the show. And I want to preface what I'm about to say with that. I don't think they're going to go too serious. Like, they've had so many like opportunities if that's the way they wanted to take their story and that kind of thing, they could have, and it just doesn't seem like it's that like their style seemingly.
The focus is way more on Mob's emotions and what his power causes for him and how he feels about it than it is about him using it.
Serizawa, right?
You didn't realize who you kidnapped?
Huh.
15年もなぜ引きこもる。私は鈴木というものだ。君のお母さんから相談を受けて。それ以上近寄ったら怪我するよ。君は超能力者だそうだな。わかるよ。君の丈を聞かせてくれないか。それ以上喋るな。頼むから俺をイライラさせないで。こう気味悪がられて友達もできず。やめろ。したふうなことを。社会に居場所がないんじゃないか。出てけよ。私も超能力。私と共に来い。俺部屋を出るとめまいがして。これは君の分の傘だ。君の部屋だと思えば。
Aw.
I can understand why he went with him and why he trusts him.
It's like a worse, more manipulative Reagan. That could have happened to Mob.
おかしな話だってわかる。利用されてるだけなんじゃないかな。おお、信玄がそれを言うか。ひどいのはそっちだ。そ
Jesus.
んなことをするなら困ってる人の顔が浮かばないのか。
社長はつきものだと言ってたな。
自分もそう思うの。
言ってくれないかな。
芹沢さん、あんた。
Oh.
あの傘。
とんでもないパワーを。俺は安心な。
Maybe he's channeled his own energy into the umbrella.
Oh.
大丈夫かい。あ、嘘か。傘を失っただけで今のありさまかよ。
しょうがないんだよ。
It was his like safety blanket.
なんだ。
Aw.
すがりつくしかない。その心の隙間につけ込まれたらきっと人教えてあげなきゃ。安心を与えてくれたんじゃなくていう不安を与えて組織に縛り付けてるんだ。社会復帰なんてできない。余計に取り返しがつかなくなる。
だったらどうしろって言うんだ。そして迷惑をかけて蔑まれてってあるんだ。
This could so easily be Mob with what happened with Ritsu.
話すことができなかった。なんというか仲間が欲しかった。今仲間がいるんだ。同じような超能力からない。
そんなの仲間じゃない。仲間がいるからね。だからわかる。
社長は俺を信頼している。じゃない。
He doesn't care about you. He said he would start over even if all of you died.
言ってたじゃないか。僕と同じだ。はずだ。自分が間違ってること。だったら僕が。
撃っちゃった。俺のエネルギーを吸収しているのか。
伝わってくる。なんて悲しいエネルギーだ。
Remorse?
自分の力に。
返すよ、芹沢さん。
なんだこれは。そうか。俺と同じ。また戦闘員を補充しないといけなくなった。
力にならないの今回で分かっただろ。
特別に教えてやる。ノーマルの人間にストレスを加えて超能力を覚醒させる。
奴らの力はあれも軽微な現象ってやつなの。
で扱っている力。あれは私の力だ。
They are his powers.
自分の中に取り込むこともできる。
Jesus. I mean, Mob let Reagan use his powers, right?
And we just saw Mob do a similar thing.
Oh my god.
One absolute being to be the protagonist.
That Sarazawa moment hit me, dude. That was so good. Oh no.
君にもいろいろあるんだ。実のお父さんにそんなにやられるなんて。彼はあんたの暴走に悩んでいたんだ。僕に怯えていたから。変わったな。
他人の家庭内事情を知っ
息子が父親を止めようとしていること、死に合っている様子が見るに耐えなくて階段を降りてきた。
Oh.
自分が情けなくて消えたくなったこと。
手を抜いたな。
違うよ。勝つとか負けるとか、負けはそればっかりじゃないんだよ。
俺は社長だ。どうして人を傷つける必要があるんだろう。逃げていたけど、裏で誰かが泣いてまで得られる最初から求めていなかった。やはりクズは一生クズのままか。当てにしていない。人とのつながりなど意味のないものだ。
それは違う。誰だの人と関わって成長していくんだ。
This is so
人には
cool.
人が必要なんだ。きっとその時には後悔するんだ。
Yes.
もし相手がいないのなら、
Look. Oh my god. Mogami was there.
ということは他の弱者とやってくれ。
僕がある。こっちはもうガス欠で動けもしねえって。
ようになる。
私と同じ力。
Touche.
おう、なんとか立てるぜ。
僕はもう少しある。
お前を敵とみなす。引っ込んでろ。天敵になりうる。
The potential to become my mortal
僕
enemy.
は話し合いに来たんだ。
やつには何を言っても手触りだ。
Oh.
エクボ。
影山君を一人で行かせてよかったんだろうか。
Was Dimple okay?
何自分の意思を思う。僕にはあれが辛そうに見えたよ。どう思いますか、レーゲンさん。
強い力を持ってる。出力の念動力だろう。そんなもんは一つに過ぎない。あいつが本当にすごいのは感情を伝えられるところだ。繕った言葉よりも響く。相手に伝わりさえすれば。エクボ、どうした、大丈夫か。
敵は躊躇なく信玄を殺す気だったぞ。
メガネ、ちょっといいか。
どこか足りないものがあって、それを補い合って世界ができ。
つまらんな、お前たちは。この世界が手のひらサイズに見えたよ。ちょうどお前たちと同じお前の考え方では歩みはそこで止まり。
Damn. The reflections are really cool.
つまらん人生を。
中学生の頃から止まっているのはあんたの方だ。自分が考えてるいろんな人がいて、いろんな考え方があるなんて誰もつけられないはずなんだ。
まるで道徳の授業だな。私には必要ない。奪い利用し大きな爪痕を残すことが目標なのだよ。
リツの兄貴、やっちまってくれ。
長には私が支配する世界を継がせてやろうと思ってとんだ出来損ないになったものだな。長のため、やはりお前は子供だ。全力を出してみろ。
Oh my god. Come on, show.
俺が弱者の末路だ。に説教していたのか。無断だろ。
動くな。弾は入ってるぜ。
私には脅しにもならんぞ。
おう、モブ。
お前からは何引っ込んでいた方が身のためだぞ。まだ私の恐ろしさが理解できんらしい。
生きてるか、モブ。お前一人で行かせるなんてどうかが落ちてたみたいだ。情として情けない。よく頑張った。帰りにたこ焼きおごってやる。
私の力すら見えていないよ。お前も人を騙して搾取する側の人間ということ。
お前の方こそ見えない力しか見えてないかわいそうなやつだよ。
どういう
のは超能力だけじゃないってことだよ。4通りあるしな。
おう、試してみると。
そんな気はもうない。代わりに俺から頼みが入れてくれないか。
私に何の得が。
十分メリットになるだろう。
私を倒す方法とやらも聞いておこう。
のあんたの知らない力について教えよう。まず一つ目、超能力者が最もそれは腕力でバカ。
このがくだらん指定コンビだ。
あ、参った。 要望があれば何でも聞こう。だから話をやめ。
セリザー、完全に裏切ったか。
もういい。
Look at his face, look at his face.
Rage. Oh shit.
人の気持ちがわからないやつはたまには怪我して学べ。
Oh my gosh.
The sky looks like Mogami's, right?
できるかな。
師匠たちを連れてここから避難して。
Oh my god. They're saving them?
He's
どうする。やっぱり怒らせた。ハートリーも無事だったか。
いるかわからない状況だな。一度リセットするか決めろ。
Of course they're gonna betray you. Not real friendships, just made out of fear.
only 10%?
Output 10%. Oh.
弱いぞ。私はまだ 10% のそれが 100% なのか。
Bitch, you,
Question
you
mark,
don't
question
even
mark,
know.
question mark, question mark.
なるほどな。
これで思う存分ぶつけられる力。
Without collateral damage?
Okay.
Okay, that was Mob Psycho, Season 2, Episode 12. Oh my god. I don't even know where to start. Sarazawa is an amazing character. No? Like, okay. I understand that the details are very different. He was an adult. He's trapped in his room playing games. I do think that we could be intended to make the parallels of accidentally hurting somebody, like, with Mob, you know, and Mob and Ritsu's situation. And I think that if somebody had come to Mob in a very vulnerable situation, like Suzuki did, and manipulate Mob for their own benefit, Mob could have easily gone a different route than the one he did.
We've seen Mob go through so many changes and deciding to put himself out there and make these friends like he has in the Body Improvement Club and the Telepathy Club. Like, Sarazawa is an exact example of if Mob Psycho 100, the show, none of this stuff happened. And Mob just kept hating himself and being scared of his powers and not wanting to hurt other people. He would have not made those interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
He would have never had his relationship with Ritsu become stronger and more open about how Ritsu feels about him.
It's like a masterclass in focused character development. It's like, okay, let's spend an entire series focused on one character, Mob, and making that character go through different leaps and bounds and challenges and obstacles to get to a place where they feel confident enough to be able to try to help other people and teach other people what the right way to look at things are.
And we're seeing a big comparison of those people, those vulnerable people, being taken in or protected or given a place by someone who is maybe a little more selfish, a little more focused on themselves and their dreams or goals or desires, a con man.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing that kind of comparison being drawn between the two of them, like Reagan and Suzuki, you said?
Yeah.
And I just keep thinking Sho's dad.
Yeah,
I don't even want to give him a name. He doesn't deserve a name. Just Sho's horrible dad.
One thing that I love
dad.
that they don't do in this is try to make me believe Sarazawa would change completely just by words, because I don't think that's human nature. I think that the words that Mob told him reinforced with seeing firsthand
it had to be that.
the experiences Mob has went through, make Mob's words like real and
because
like
someone could just say something.
yeah.
You know, it doesn't mean that they truly understand. They
But-
could say they understand.
But if they say that thing after they have gone through stuff and you can prove that and like, oh, I see this person has gone through all this turmoil and still says what he's saying today, then it makes you believe. It makes you have hope.
The immersion of the feelings. Like when Serizawa first hit Mob was like, wow, this energy feels so sad, because he could feel it.
Yeah.
And so when Mob sent it back at Serizawa with all of these memories and all of those things, you can only begin to guess how that actually was experienced by Serizawa, and how he actually probably just felt it like an out-of-body experience. Yeah.
I really like Serizawa, actually. We haven't gotten too much time with him, but I really, really like him. And I like the whole idea of Suzuki giving him the umbrella, and it's like, with under this umbrella, it will feel like it's your room. That was a great, delivery, an idea.
I think he channeled his energy into the umbrella too, as a form of like, he doesn't feel safe himself using his powers.
Yeah.
So it was almost like a disassociation by putting his powers onto the object that was given to him by someone more powerful. It made him almost further that idea that this powerful person was protecting him and taking him in, because this umbrella was so powerful.
Yeah. I love the idea of how serious it is and how much of a reason it is for a weapon. I mean, you can think of Sakurai, right? Sakurai has this plastic sword that he has imbued psychic energy into to hone it to its sharpest potential when fighting these people, right? And then on the opposite side of the same coin, you have somebody fighting with an umbrella, and it's not going with the fact that it's like an object and making it sillier like it would be plastic, but it's going with an object that is inherently potentially silly, and then flipping it and going with like a really serious undertone for why they'd be using that as a weapon.
And of course there was like a really cute line that was used upon the giving of the umbrella, like, you can use it to pretend that you're inside. Which honestly, if that was like an innocent, really true, nice thing to say, it would have been really awesome. And I can totally understand why Serizawa would
imagine that when you're under this umbrella, you're in your room. And like it I don't know. I really like that. We had the, I guess, realization that Suzuki was in fact giving and sharing his powers with these people, because we had been told that he would have had to done something to them specifically.
Was it Serizawa that said it, or someone else that was like, "What have you done?"
Yeah, which I thought last episode's discussion that was a possibility that he could have been sharing his powers with people, but
I just thought it was another weird, horrible, really torturous, mad experiment he must have done.
I wouldn't have put that.
I wasn't going with. They got me with that. I didn't realize that's what it was. I
think it's so interesting though, because they definitely put an emphasis on different people, different psychics have different powers, but it does make you wonder if the most, like, if the strongest of psychics would have every power, right?
Because Claw was like, yeah, Mob's the one that has that telekinesis, and Reagan was like, yeah, that's one of like many.
But like in that instance, it was referencing how Mob's true power is speaking like the truth to people, right?
Yes.
But it, like, in an actual like psychic sense, we have Suzuki having the power to give and take energy from people. When we've seen Mob doing the whole taking energy from people in episode 3 with Teru, right? Like, that's been early on. And I think episode 3. I don't know. It's lost to time now.
It's lost to time.
No, episode 3 was Dimple. It would be episode 5 then.
Or 4? 4 or 5?
Episode 5. Because it was the whole Teru sensed something in there that must never be touched. And then you saw the energy coming out of Teru's spot. Anyway, in this episode, I kind of like that they're not putting too much attention onto Sho.
See, I wrote down one Sho thing, and that's because it made me giggle, and it made me love how we paint Mob as a protagonist in this series. Sho doesn't even know Mob's name.
Yeah.
He called him Ritsu's bro. Like, and the idea that this is the protagonist, the main character, and some of the characters don't even, like, know his name and don't even call him that. Like, there was something about it that made me like smile inside at the addition of that.
It's nice. I think it's a nice touch.
He's just a part of this world. He's not the everyone's main focus. He's not important to everyone, as no one is important to every single person in the world.
Yeah. I got really scared when Sho revealed that it was him who set fire to Mob's house, if I'm honest.
You got like a little fear inside you
a little bit that Mob was just going to be like, you shouldn't do that to people, but him being like, I'm not mad anymore, I'm sure you have a lot going on.
I know, it was so perfect. And I just always chalk that sort of thing up to like Mob just has a sense of people.
Yeah, I mean, look at what your own father has done to you.
Well, that's like, Mob is so aware and observant. Like, he sees in front of him this guy just wrecked his own son.
Well,
he's not going to be too mad at the son for fake killing his
Not
family.
only that, it's like, to emphasize that if Mob like teleported right here and then just saw Suzuki and Sho, I think things might have been different. Because Mob went up those steps. Mob sat down and listened to Serizawa tell him that he had to watch Sho get beat up and he was too scared to do anything about it. And then he comes in and then sees it happening in front of him, so he understands and connects, connects the dots.
Plus, Mob has said himself that the house didn't mean anything to him. So once he knew that his family was alive, that meant nothing. So when he says to Sho, you're the one that set fire to my house. Well, we already know that set fire to my house doesn't truly mean anything to Mob. Yeah. That's not important to him.
I loved the beginning of their interaction, of course. You see Mob give Sho his energy.
Which did nothing.
It helped him get up.
It helped him get up and then thrown against a wall again.
I got worried about Dimple for a second.
Well, I mean, if we think about it, Dimple could be so easily exercised if someone just tried to exercise him. And so, like, that's a real fear I have, is that someone is going to come along and just, like, exercise Dimple. But I guess that would get Mob acting. So.
I will say, in the discussion that we had for this episode, we touched upon, like, which direction the show would go in, like, if they'd ever do anything. Like, I think the undertone there was like, would they kill people?
Yeah, something more severe. It can't be redone, like fixed with Mob's powers, like a manuscript of a book put back together.
If I'm like, you could definitely see it on my face in this reaction. I think at one point in the show, about 16 minutes in, I was absolutely convinced they were going to kill Reagan.
Yes, I was actually going to ask you. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you, was about that specific scene. And about Reagan's actions there.
It was like before it was like building up, and then the first time Reagan shot
the bullet,
Sakurai's gun, right then I was 100% convinced that he died. Once the explosion happened, I was like, meh. But I started like putting the pieces together once Reagan wanted to talk to Sakurai, and I was like, throughout this season, they have destroyed and then rebuilt Reagan and Mob's friendship and relationship. Mm-hmm. They did that for a reason. Mm-hmm. This is like the most ultimate.
They had to have gone through what they did in this season, where they separated for a time and realized, like, you know, I feel like most of the realization was on Reagan's end.
Yeah,
because I feel like Mob came to it on his own. It was kind of like, oh yeah, wow, not everything Master says is right for me, and I should make my own choices for myself. But Reagan needed Mob to just leave his life and then come back into it to realize that he wasn't just this. That, and to realize he wasn't just this kind of guy that was using this kid. Like, he in himself might have felt like he was using this kid. But I think that time he realized how much Mob actually meant to him.
I believed it narratively in my, like, that it could very well happen right here, and it would have been very real and caused something.
So how did you feel when Reagan started walking up to Suzuki?
I was like, he's trying to get close enough to punch him.
Okay, so because I was wondering, like, when he did punch, the question I had was, in that moment when Reagan punched, where were you in terms of how it was gonna end up? Did you think that Reagan actually punched him and it was just another one of those times where Reagan's...
No.
Okay, so
I still
were...
believed Reagan was about to die at this point.
Because it got me for like maybe 1 second.
Yeah.
And then, because I...
What, that he was actually going to punch him?
Yes, because I was just calling upon past things that we've seen before, and because the show does that, you know, where it uses Reagan in that almost comedic way where he's taking down these really powerful people. And I was like, okay, so that's a possibility. So for a second there, I was thinking it was going to happen. But...
So that added it to me that I thought he was going to die. So like I was thinking that he could die here. And then when I saw what Reagan was doing, like walking closer, I was like, they're trying to convince me that he's just going to do the bit where he punches people, but it's not going to work this time. And then he's going to die. And it's like, it's a perfect, like, right. If they did kill Reagan here, this is how they do it. I think they'd like try to have him go out doing what he knew how to do. And then it would happen.
Well, he would have died if that
Serizawa.
And he would have died there, but he also would have died the second time falling out of the building if that one guy, the one Esper that controls plants, didn't catch them.
True. I'm really, really glad that it was Serizawa who saved Reagan. Part of me didn't want it to be Mob that time. And I'm glad
think
that
about
that
how
happened.
hard that would have been for Serizawa. Not in terms of, we've already touched on this relationship between Suzuki and what the umbrella meant to him. But think about how hard that was for him. Like I connect with him because he doesn't like watching confrontation. And so he went downstairs because he couldn't watch Sho being beat up. But he came back upstairs even though he knew that there was going to be sights that he was going to be uncomfortable seeing, and he stepped in front and he saved Reagan. That was
great.
So big moves. He grew so much.
We skipped it. I skipped it. Can we talk about how Mogami was in?
I know. Oh my gosh. We both, I think, at least verbally reacted to Mogami popping up in the background.
Such an interesting character.
It's like that solidifies for me our feelings about what Mogami did a few episodes ago and what that meant.
Part of me is like, okay, we've talked about it the past 2 episodes. Where do you go from here in a 3rd season? Maybe back to Mogami. Like,
maybe
if the strongest Esper we know has been defeated by next episode, then...
Because what is this painting? This is painting people that back Mob.
Yeah.
But they're backing Mob against this particular opponent.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Mogami is no longer an opponent or an enemy for Mob. It just means that in this particular battle, he's on Mob's side.
I think it could go that route if they wanted to, just to like put more introspection and if like Mob's resolve under a microscope. That being said, I want
Mogami to be reoccurring. I definitely want Mogami to be reoccurring.
Yeah, I would like him to come back at some point in the next season. I wonder how many episodes are in the next season. So how did you take the ending of this episode? Did you take it as Mob was trying to take this battle into the sky to be away from people like casualties?
And to make it so that the people, not only to keep them safe from Suzuki, but also to keep them from getting involved.
How much of a badass move is it? Not only to say I'm going to fight you one-on-one, but I'm going to be using my psychic powers to float our stage away while I'm fighting you.
Because Mob is going to have to keep that thing in the sky.
Yeah. That's nuts.
And Suzuki's like, this is only 10% of my power right now.
Bitch, you don't even know.
And we're like, yeah, this is 100% of like Mob being awake.
Well,
but
not only that, in the episode that we saw Mob's house on fire, Mob went well past 100.
You know what I just thought of? Yeah, you're so right. He went well past, and we have the question mark. But what if this is a more complex system? And we know Mob is a character who can do multiple things with his psychic abilities. But what if your emotions can each have their own 100 and be layered? What if there's a layering going on? He's 100% rage right now, but what if that could be layered with 100% something else at the same time?
Like there could be like 4 different emotions all at 100%.
Yeah.
Kind of that could be cool.
What right now we're like, oh, Mob's at 100. How could he go further other than question mark?
Well, no, we saw him go further than 100 before.
Right.
But I think that the layered thing would be really cool. I don't know what he'd do with it at that point.
I just think it would be cool if that was the case of different emotions combining to create to take this guy down.
I mean, can he want like the whole I guess message in episode 1 was Mob made the decision to consider his feelings more. Even if it wasn't all stacked, like in certain times, this is like crazy probably not gonna happen thinking, but during a fight, like if one punch you wanted to feel a certain way, so you'd have like 100% like rage, and then on defense you want to have 100% like pacifism. Like I don't know, like you could like use different things for different things in a match. I don't know.
Like it could be just so like just like a crazy kind of theory, but I also could see it being used that way because every time he gets to 100, it's a very specific emotion that he's feeling, and I feel like there are many things he could feel at once.
Well, he felt what did he feel towards Serizawa? What was it? He did 100%, and then he didn't like go unconscious or anything.
Oh gosh, I don't know what the word was.
Friendship, yeah. I take that as 100% friendship.
Okay.
Maybe. I think it could be taken either way, but that's how I took it. Usually it's like we see 100% and then a title card of feeling or emotion. I think it could be either though. So like we could have like 100% friendship and 100% rage working in tandem.
I mean, technically that could be true when he's protecting his friends.
Yeah, but Suzuki's about to get beat up and befriended at the same time.
Oh my
He won't even know what's coming.
What like ending for this character would you want?
That's a really good point.
I hate him.
I can't imagine death.
How is redemption for this character? Is there even... I mean, I can get how, like, the claws and the former claws and even the echelon, upper echelon, ultimates could be redeemed.
Honestly,
but
I don't know if they're even going to try to redeem him. I think that he might try to learn in defeat. Because Mob said something on the terms of you need to be hurt to truly understand. So I'm assuming that's where it's going to go. Beat him down.
Even
he can't
maybe
move.
take his powers.
Maybe. Avatar situation.
Yeah, like if you're able to take and or give your energy and your powers, and this guy is just going to keep doing this thing over and over again, and he doesn't see that there are other good things or other powerful things about people other than psychic abilities.
Yeah.
Take his psychic abilities away.
And then Mogami goes inside of Suzuki's body next season.
Maybe that's how...
Villain.
I mean, maybe Mogami comes back in this season and he takes the powers himself.
Maybe. You good?
Maybe. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.